everybody, Lindsay here, and welcome to another episode of My 5 Favorite, the show where I talk about my 5 favorite movie-related things. I don't necessarily think they are the best things, but they are my favorite, and they are subject to change on a weekly basis. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking all about my 5 favorite films from 1986. '86. Again, I say this every time with these 80s movies. Another year that was very hard to narrow down to just 5 favorites and 5 honorable mentions. But I think we got a good mix this time. We've got some action, we have some horror, we've got a musical, we've got comedy, family-friendly shit. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 5. Number 5 is a musical. It's, I would say it's horror comedy kind of thing. It originated as a Roger Corman film starring Jack Nicholson, but I'm talking about the musicalized version starring Rick Moranis. Yes, I'm talking all about Little Shop of Horrors. Now I'm just a mean green mother from outer space and I'm paid. I love Little Shop of Horrors. It's so demented and twisted. The music is really good. It really gets stuck in your head, but it's very well done. Howard Ashman did the music. He also did the music for several Disney animated films like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Little Mermaid, which you can really hear when you listen to the music in Little Shop of Horrors, especially when Audrey is singing Somewhere That's Green. It's very, very similar to Part of Your World that Ariel sings in The Little Mermaid. And then you have Steve Martin as the demented dentist, and he sings his song, You'll Be a Dentist. I love that whole thing. You'll be a dentist. You have a talent for causing pain. Hey! Bill Murray makes a cameo.
It's your professionalism that I respect.
You've got the 3 Motown singers that are serving as the Greek chorus to our story. You've got Levi Stubbs, who does the voice and singing of Audrey 2, The Plant. You've also got cameos from fellow SCTV alum John Candy as the radio show host.
So very weird.
And I love the puppetry, the music, the acting, the comedy, just the zaniness and craziness of this musical. I'm not a huge musical person, but this is one of my favorites just because the tone is so wacky and crazy and fun. And people get eaten by a giant plant. And of course, I love the alternate ending that you can find online where Audrey 2 expands and makes other Audreys and they take over the world. And there's this amazing sequence that they shot with these giant puppets destroying cities. It's really cool. I hate that they changed it. I mean, everyone loves a happy ending, but the original stage musical ends like the alternate ending where everyone died. Everyone gets eaten by Audrey 2, and the plants take over the world. But I've always loved this musical. It's so much fun, and that's why it is number 5 on my list of 5 favorite films from 1986.
Yes!
Number 4. Number 4 is kind of a deep track. Not a lot of people have seen it, or if they have seen it, they don't talk about it very much. But it's probably my favorite Harrison Ford performance ever. He's amazing in this film. Yes, I'm talking all about Mosquito Coast.
Why sell a man what he wants? Sell him what he doesn't need. Pretend he's got 8 legs and 2 stomachs and money to burn. It's wrong.
Mosquito Coast is a great film. It got panned by the critics when it first came out. It did not do well. It's based on a novel. It also stars River Phoenix as one of Harrison Ford's sons. But it tells the story. Harrison Ford is like this crazy inventor guy, believes in science. Science can solve all our problems. But he thinks that the United States is going to be destroyed by nuclear war and everything is going to descend into chaos, so he takes his family down to South America to start a new life. And it touches on so many greater themes, this film does. Man versus man, man versus nature, man versus God. Tons and tons of stuff in this film.
It's the Lord's business. The Lord hasn't any idea this place exists.
I highly recommend it to anyone who's a Harrison Ford fan or even just a film fan. There's so much to dissect and discuss about this film. I wish more people would watch it and talk about it, because like I said, it's a huge departure for Harrison Ford compared to his other roles. He's not a good guy in this movie. It's if his character were around today, he would probably have like his own YouTube conspiracy theory channel.
I tell you, Charlie, I'm not going back into Hatfield again.
I'm sick of dealing with people who want things I've already rejected. Things they see on TV. They talk about nuclear destruction as if it were a game show topic.
It's very, very good. I'd watch it just for his performance alone. There's a lot of stuff in this movie. And they just came out with a television series called The Mosquito Coast. It's very, very different. Very, very different. So if you have not seen The Mosquito Coast, I highly, highly recommend it. There's so much going on. There's some really great acting and some good writing. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. Don't skip this one. And I think even Harrison Ford himself has said that this is his favorite role that he's ever done. So don't sleep on Mosquito Coast, because for those reasons and many, many more is why it is my number 4 favorite film from 1986.
That's why I'm here! That's why I came!
Number 3. Number 3 is probably, I would say it's my favorite Star Trek movie. I mean, I love 2, I love 6, I love the original Star Trek the Motion Picture, even though it's a little dry for some people. I do love the first one. But no, I have always had a soft spot in my heart for this one. As a kid, I loved it because of the whales. Yes, I am talking all about Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home.
We're going to attempt time travel. Sulu, take us home.
Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, where they have to go back in time to get a pair of humpback whales to bring into the future, because there's this sentient alien ship thing that is going to destroy the Earth unless it can communicate with whales that have now become extinct. So they go back to the 80s to San Francisco to get a pair of humpback whales from SeaWorld, essentially. And they run into the trainer who they get to help them. And it's pretty much just a huge fish out of water story. You have the crew of the USS Enterprise trying to interact with 80s technology. Hello, computer.
Hello, computer.
Just use the keyboard.
And Spock is still trying to rediscover who he is, and he's running around in like a ninja outfit the whole time. It's great.
You're not exactly catching us at our best.
That much is certain.
And for those reasons and many more is why Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home is my number 3 favorite film from 1986.
What's the matter with you?
Kidney dialysis.
Dialysis? My God, what is this, the Dark Ages?
Number 2. Number 2 is a film, one of several films that probably had the biggest impact upon me when I was a kid growing up, just because I could identify so much with the characters in it, because there were parts of my life that were very, very similar. You know, being a kid, small town, where you would go on an adventure every day. From the time you got up to when you had to go home for dinner, and even after that, you were outside with other kids, just roaming free. It was a great time to be a kid. Yes, I am talking all about Stand By Me.
Mighty Mouse could beat up Superman. Mighty Mouse is a cartoon. Superman is a real guy. No way a cartoon could beat up a real guy.
Stand By Me is such a good movie, and I think more and more people are coming to appreciate just how good it is. It stars some of the best child actors ever. You've got Will Wheaton, you've got River Phoenix, you have Corey Feldman. And, you know, people really dog on Corey Feldman these days. I mean, the guy's been through a lot, but he is one of the best child actors to ever be in the game. He is so good in this film. This is probably his best performance. He's so good.
2 for flinching.
And it speaks to so much about being a kid, and when you reach a certain age and something happens that bursts your bubble, and all of a sudden the veil of innocence is gone, whether it's due to death or, you know, friends changing, new stages in life, going from middle school to high school, all these traumatic things that can happen when you're a child to just that changes the course of your life, but still has such an impact on you as an adult. And this was based on Stephen King's short story, The Body, and this is one of his favorite adaptations of one of his stories. And I remember watching this as a kid because it's another one of those movies that made the rounds on TNT, TBS, HBO. It was on television all the time. And me and my brother would quote it endlessly all the time. All the, like, chopper sick balls and, I don't shut up, I grow up. And when I look at you, I throw up. Blah.
I don't shut up.
Shut up, I grow up. And when I look at you, I throw up.
You know, just all those things where you would just razz each other as a kid.
And then your mother goes around the corner and she licks it up.
Oh!
It's such a great movie, and it still brings back wonderful memories for me. So for all those reasons and many more is why Stand By Me is my number 2 favorite film from 1986. Number 1. Number 1 is regarded as one of the greatest action sci-fi movies of all time, and it's regarded as one of the best sequels of all time. And it is such a personal favorite for me. Yes, I'm talking all about Aliens.
You're going out there to destroy them, right? Not to study, not to bring back, but to wipe them out.
Aliens, yes. James Cameron knocked it out of the park once again. He did Terminator, and then he did Aliens, and man, he essentially took the same story from Alien, but turned it into an action film. And boy, was it successful.
Get them out of there!
It was at a screening of Aliens where I met Mr. Michael Biehn here and had him sign this picture of Ringo. He had run out of pictures of the picture that I wanted from him from Aliens, so I went with my second favorite, which is Ringo from Tombstone. But he's such a nice guy. It was so great to meet him, and when I was there, he talked about Bill Paxton, which I have a previous video of mine. I'll put a link or a card somewhere right here where he's talking about Bill Paxton, and that was great to get that personal experience from him. It was great. Such a nice guy. He talked to there were hundreds of people in line, and he talked to every single one of us. Awesome dude.
There's something moving and it ain't us.
And while this does follow some of the same beats as the original Alien film, it's just ratcheted up to the action level of 11. You've got the Colonial Marines, and all the characters are great. You've got Paul Reiser's character, and he's such a fucking sleazeball. You just want to murder him. You have the character of Newt, which is one of the the less annoying child characters in a rated R film. And that's another thing. This movie's gory. And when I saw Aliens as a kid before I ever saw Alien, and that's why I think it left such an impact upon me. Because you don't really need to watch Alien to appreciate this film. They kind of fill in the blanks a little bit, especially if you're watching the extended edition. You get a lot of information where Ripley is going through, you know, the debriefing and all that stuff. But this really cemented Ripley as an action heroine, and Sigourney Weaver's so awesome in this film, especially when she gets the exo suit and she fights the alien queen at the end. And that's been copied and copied and copied in so many films since.
Get away from her, you bitch!
You got Lance Henriksen as Bishop, and just all the interactions that they have it's just so well done. Some favorite scenes of mine are the briefing with the Colonial Marines before they head out, and you get a little bit of everyone's little personality in that. And then of course Ripley comes in and she is no nonsense, all about business. She's like, listen, you fuckers, this shit is super deadly, so you better be paying attention to me and listen to everything I say. Awesome.
Because just one of those things managed to wipe out my entire crew in less than 24 hours.
And then, of course, when Ripley goes back in to save Newt and she encounters the Queen, she's got the flamethrower, all that stuff. It's just great. So for those reasons and many, many more is why Aliens is my #1 favorite film from 1986.
Great! That's just fucking great, man!
Now comes the time where we talk about our honorable mentions, but first, these messages.
Good news today at the Ground Round.
You get a whole lot more at the Ground Round. You get a whole lot more.
What's the good news?
USDA Choice Top Sirloin Steak, just $3.99.
That's good news.
And new golden fried clams, also $3.99.
More good news.
Try our baked lemon butter scrod, just $3.99.
That is good news.
Steak, clam, scrod, just $3.99 each at participating Ground Rounds.
At the Ground Round, you get a whole lot more.
I'm Maud Adams. For natural flavor, I like Cott. A lot. Because Cott beverages are made with real honest-to-goodness fruit, like sweet, juicy oranges, tart lemons and limes, luscious strawberries and raspberries, and succulent grapes. 30 delicious flavors, including diet flavors, non-carbonated flavors, and the best fruit beer you've ever tasted. All natural, all great. Enjoy the good taste of Cott.
Natural tastes better, so it's got to be good. This week, Sears teams up velour and corduroy for a sporty look at a winning price. First, corduroy pants, a super value at only $8.99. The Fit Super, too, and you save $5. Snuggle into a rich velour top for just $12.99. The luxury of velour in a soft knit blend, and you save $5. The pants in assorted colors, the tops in crew V and boat neck. Hurry, this sale ends Saturday at Sears, where America shops for value.
Honorable mentions. I only picked out 5 honorable mentions this time. I did not do 6 like I did last time. I was able to narrow it down to 5. These are in no particular order. First, we have the Jim Henson David Bowie mashup, Labyrinth.
Everything I've done for you.
Starring a very young Jennifer Connelly. I love the puppets. I love the music. I love the story. And, of course, David Bowie and his bulge.
The world of Labyrinth.
Flight of the Navigator. Another awesome 80s movie that people don't talk that much about anymore. I love the story. The graphics are pretty good for the time. And his little robot friend inside the ship. He does a Pee Wee Herman impression at one point.
See you later, alligator.
Sarah Jessica Parker shows up with her permed hair.
Oh, well, in that case, I shouldn't be talking to you at all.
Awesome, awesome movie.
Flight of the Navigator, Disney's new adventure fantasy.
The Money Pit. with Tom Hanks and Shelley Long. Another great comedy movie. My favorite scene is when he gets stuck in the hole upstairs and he's up there for hours and he's singing to himself and trying to keep himself from going crazy. And when Shelley Long finally gets home, Tom Hanks is like, "Oh, thank God it's you. I thought the Care Bears were here."
I've been here so long, I'm hallucinating. A while ago, I thought the Care Bears were here.
Walter?
Just a silly, funny movie. The Money Pit.
The Money Pit. If they've got what it takes, it's going to take everything they've got.
Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. I think this is my second favorite Friday the 13th movie. Part 2 is my favorite, which I talked about on a previous episode of my 5 favorite 80s series. I love this one. This is my favorite iteration of Tommy Jarvis. I love the Jason design in this one. Him coming back to life from the lightning bolt and how it pokes fun. It's got that sense of humor about horror films. That's the biggest reason that I really, really enjoy this movie. And if Tommy Jarvis would have just left well enough alone, Jason wouldn't have come back. So, Tommy, it's all your fucking fault. The Hitcher.
My mother told me never to do this.
Yes, the original The Hitcher, starring C. Thomas Howell and Rutger Hauer, and Jennifer Jason Leigh. Great film, very spooky, very creepy. Fucking Rutger Hauer, he's just... he's so good in this. He's so good. He's so menacing and intimidating and just... yeah. I don't mind the remake with Sean Bean that much. I think it's okay. It's nowhere near as good as the original. He does not compare to Rutger Hauer, but he does hold his own. So if you haven't seen the sequel, I'd recommend checking it out, just for comparison's sake. But the original, The Hitcher, one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
The terror starts the moment you stop for The Hitcher.
What do you want?
I want you to stop me.
Well, that is going to do it for my 5 favorite films from 1986, plus 5 honorable mentions. If you have a favorite film from 1986, or 5, or 10, or 20, or 100, I don't care how many, please put them below in the comments. I would love to hear what they are. But that is going to do it for this little video, so until next time, this is Lindsay signing off. I'll check you later.